Dr. Kari O'Grady, Assistant Professor of Pastoral Counseling at Loyola University of Maryland, joins us to tell us how we can cope with the new normal. Welcome, Dr. O'Grady. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And unfortunately, it is the new normal. We all, of course, are talking about the Columbia Mall shooting still with its prevalence in our minds. What are you telling parents to tell their children who are dealing with traumatic situations?
Yeah, well, you know, it's challenging for parents to have their children experience or witness, whether it's through the media or through friends, a traumatic experience like this. The first thing they can do for their children is to talk with them. Let them know it's normal to feel afraid. Also, being able to maintain normal routines helps them to get a sense of security. And being thoughtful to be honest with our children. Children can tell when we're lying to them and it scares them. So let them know what's happened in age-appropriate language without hiding the truth, but not without embellishing as well.
Okay. Is there anything we can do as far as advising them to not become victims of violence? Obviously, it can happen without you expecting it, but what can we tell them to prepare them?
That's a good question, and we would like a simple answer. And that's part of the thing that's disturbing about shootings like the mall or the Newtown shootings, because those are supposed to be safe places. So the advice we usually give our children is to stay away from certain areas, and that's still good. And also to be thoughtful about what friends we choose and what activities we participate, what time of the day. But this was a shooting on a Saturday morning. So for parents, I would let them know that we can't always protect our children all the time. And to help them to be sensitive to their surroundings, notice what's going on, and even give them some tips about, you know, when something like this happens, to be able to hunker down and to get into a position where you're nondescript, so people won't notice you and target you. But really, we have to accept the fact that we can't protect our children from everything.
Right. And we're talking a lot about children, but I think all of us, adults alike, are responding to this in a way that, you know, we feel it really hit close to home. So how do we work through this emotionally?
Yeah, that's a great question, because traumas like this have a large psychological impact on us, even if we don't know anybody experiencing it. Taking care of ourselves, recognizing that there is a chemical reaction that happens for us when we hear about trauma events. So doing things like exercising, taking a bubble bath, talking with others so that we know that we're not isolated in the experience, that our fears and our feelings are normal and shared by others. Yeah.
We noticed a lot of people returning 2 days after the mall shooting, you know, coming together to have lunch at the mall. And just deal with the fact that, you know, you can get past these things, and this is a good way to do it. Would you recommend getting right back into those patterns?
Sure, getting right back on the horse again is the way we describe that. Yeah, that's good. And also the sense of community is very important when we have a community trauma event. It says there is still good in the world, and we are acknowledging that by being here together. We're evidence of it. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more just about you know, when it comes to things that we're hearing in the media. We're a part of it, obviously, and it's our job to inform people. But is it a good idea to also take a break from watching all of that if it's like a 24-hour thing that you're seeing coverage on all the time?
Sure, and particularly with children, they cannot tell the difference between the event and a media portrayal of the event. So if they're watching it over and over again, they think it's happening over and over again. And in some ways, we as adults experience it that way. So being able to set boundaries about how often you're going to view the trauma event. Just enough to feel like you're not alone, but not so often that you're re-traumatizing yourself.
And what would you say our responsibility is in the media when it comes to informing people?
You know, I would go to a space where I would say, what's the motive behind what you're doing? Is it to inform and to help, or is it to draw attention, to create a story that's exciting? And if we're thoughtful about the impact we're having on those around us in our community, I think the reporting will look a little different.
And I think just as far as coming together as a community, you stressed that it's really important to get support from one another and talk about what it is that you're going through and continue to talk to your children.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right, outpouring of love to children during that time. Play with them more, hug them more. It'll help you and it'll help them feel better. Yeah.
What more can you say when it comes to your approach and what you're teaching at Loyola School of Maryland? What do you think people should should take from situations like this, and what are you encouraging your students to learn from it?
Well, I think it's important to remember that while trauma events can cause psychological distress, it can also provide opportunities for growth. And so being able to focus on what can we do in this situation that will make this a better place to live because it happened, rather than just focusing on the level of threat that we feel. So serving, reaching out to others, memorials, even religious rituals can be helpful and healing for people, and help them focus on things like meaning making, which can be very healing and it helps us develop psychological strength for the next events.
Great. We appreciate you being here. Helpful advice. I'm sure a lot of people can take a lot from it. So thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Coming up next, we will discuss Maryland's domestic violence laws that are back on the agenda at the General Assembly. Stay with us. You're watching 11 TV Health.